Blessed be everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about death and what happens after death from a pagan context. I'll talk a little bit about a Wiccan context and the Summerlands, but you know, witchcraft and paganism is pretty broad, so there's all sorts of different beliefs around what happens when we die. I also wanted to talk more about, from my own personal experience of having been with somebody who's passed and also been in the proximity of people who have very, very recently passed, and just to tell you and share with you what I experienced. But before we do, I'm Sandra from MysteryWitchSchool.com, author of Crafting Your Wiccan Path. If you want to know more about Wicca and witchcraft, tarot and shadow work, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any videos. If you want to know where to start your witchcraft practice, but you're just confused about what's the first thing I need to learn or do, and how do I study and learn all of these different things, take a look at my free masterclass called How to Start Your Witchcraft Practice. There's a link in the description field below this video. You can also work one-on-one with me when it comes to the shadow work aspect, or anywhere in your life where you are feeling stuck and you feel that you're ready to make some changes within yourself and go on that nice deep dive journey into finding out who you truly are and unraveling all those things that are stopping you from expressing who that person is. You can also study tarot with me, and there's also courses in Wicca with me too, so that you can actually get guidance from me to help you along the way with your study. So there's links in the description field for all of my courses, and also any other free information is also there in the description field underneath this video. So when it comes to death and dying, if you are taking it from a Wiccan perspective, you've probably come up with the term the Summerlands. I have done a video on Wicca and death and dying. I did that video probably about 3 years ago, so this is kind of an update. But if you want to know more about that aspect of it, I'll certainly have a look at that video. I'll try to remember to put a link underneath this video when I process it, so that you can go to that video and have a look. When it comes to the term Summerlands, you'll find that that turns up in Theosophy as well as in, I think, Steiner and, or no, Swedenborg. I think it was actually Swedenborg that came up with the term Summerlands, and but without the in front of it. The Wiccan understanding of the Summerlands is that it basically is a place where the spirit or consciousness or soul, or whatever you want to call it, resides in between lives. And that's a very pleasant, beautiful place to reside, to review, and to basically contemplate the next life and what you might want to do in the next life. It's pretty much that simple. And that doesn't mean that that is how things are, that that is true. That is a belief that I was exposed to in my early Wiccan training. Of course, all over the world, in all cultures and all religions, there's various different beliefs about what happens after we die. And I can't give you a personal account of what happens after we die. I haven't had a near-death experience. I don't remember my previous life or what happened in between, so I can't give you a personal account of that. What I can give you an account of, though, is what I've experienced with people who have died. So I very, very recently was very privileged to be at my father's passing with my sister. Now, my father and I weren't particularly close. I didn't really see him very much growing up, so there wasn't necessarily an emotional bond there that you would normally have with a parent that you grew up with and spent time with. So I guess my experience is kind of a bit detached for that reason. But I did get to experience him actually passing when I was with my sister, and it was a truly spiritual experience. It was a really very beautiful experience that the three of us shared together. And it was beautiful that it happened because of the lack of connection that we'd had in this life. we kind of got to connect up at the end of it, if you know what I mean. And what I felt was as he was passing, there was a really profound feeling of my heart chakra opening up. So I'll tell you the story probably right from the beginning. When my sister and I arrived at his home, because he died at home, we went in and sat with him, and I noticed that outside the window there was a butcher bird. And there was something about this butcher bird. I felt it had a message. I felt it was saying, because it was singing, and butcher birds have the most beautiful song. And it was singing, and I felt that it was singing as a way of announcing that he was going to go. He was coming into the other world, and it felt like it was a message for my ancestors that they were waiting for him, essentially, and they're waiting for it to happen, and that it was going to happen very, very soon. So I kind of knew that he was going to go while we were there, which he did. And when he did, I just felt this presence. I'm not clairvoyant, so I don't see things. I'm clairsentient, so I feel things. I felt a presence coming up over, a very benign presence. And I also felt that my ancestors were there. And there were 3 there that I would have probably vaguely have known as I was growing up, but there seemed to be other ancestors there that I don't know. But they were all there anyway. And when it came to my father, actually, after he took a heart attack and then gone, within probably a minute, his consciousness was everywhere. And I felt my heart chakra open up. And it really felt like I'd been touched by an energy that was truly, truly beautiful. It was an opportunity for me to forgive him, which I'd done just before he passed, and also just an opportunity for him to kind of make up, I guess, for his shortcomings in this life, as offering the experience of being with him when he died as his gift. It actually felt like he was giving me the gift of being with him when he passed. And I basically just felt this overall gratitude for him that he had provided this opportunity for me to share this very, very intimate, significant time of transition with him. It was like it was the most beautiful gift that he could give me, given the circumstances of my past. And it was truly a blessing. That was the energy. It was truly a blessing. And my sister was there as well, and she felt, because she was holding the palm of his hand, and she felt the oscillations of energy, chi energy, coming out the palm of his hands after his heart had stopped, after he died. And she said, his hand feels different. The energy in his hand feels really weird, really weird. And that was interesting in and of itself, that the chi energy was really coming out of his body, even though the heart had stopped and everything. And she experienced the same presence. She felt there was a presence there. She felt his presence there, all in the room, all and everywhere in the room, and also the presence of our ancestors. And that there was something to do with the fact that there was 3 of us, that there was like a trine of energy moving between the 3 of us there, with him in pure consciousness now, having the body really not being involved at all, and us still being here in 3D. It was the most beautiful, intimate experience, and he was essentially in the room, like he was totally in the room. He wasn't in the body anymore. His consciousness was in the room, and that's what it felt like, and that was my experience, and that was her experience as well. I've had this experience with other people that I have been in proximity to just after they've passed, and it's the exact same feeling. It's the feeling that their consciousness is still there and that it is everywhere. Sometimes I feel it particularly located on the right side of just above their head, and feel maybe it concentrated there. But it is like they're everywhere, and that you can communicate with them wherever you are in that area. And sometimes it feels like they move out. Like with my father, for example, there was this feeling of being in that energy for quite some time and needing to be in that energy for quite some time until he kind of moved or expanded, I should say, into the lounge room where the other people were. Quite profound experiences. I can't say who the spirits were or who the spirit was that came over just at the minute that his consciousness left or was leaving. I know that just before he took the heart attack and his heart was slowing down, and I knew he was going to go, that he was looking up and that he saw something before he left. He saw something. There was a look of shock on his face. I don't know who he saw or what he saw, but it was a look of shock. And I knew that he was seeing the others, or the other spirit, and that it was just a matter of him being able to just go through the process of passing. So I wanted to talk about that because it's an actual experience that I've had, rather than telling you, well, you know, this is what happens after death, and this, you know, these spirits are there and that spirit's there and there's a tunnel and there's light. I don't know if there's any tunnels or any light. I know a lot of people who've had NDEs do see that. People from various different religions often will see spirits belonging to their belief system. So Christians will often see Jesus or some other Christian entities. People who are Hindu will see Hindu spirits or deities associated with Hinduism. So it doesn't seem to be, it seems that whatever we encounter when we're passing, or just in the part of passing, somehow corresponds to the way that we've worked, I guess, with spirit in this 3D reality, that it takes on the form that we're familiar with, or we simply project that form out onto it because that's what we're still fresh with as we're passing. I don't know why that happens. It's just that it does seem to happen from the research that people have done on near-death experiences. And there's been so many people who've had near-death experiences. And if you've had any, please let me know in the comments field what your experiences are. And let me know in the comments field too how you've maybe experienced death, if you've been with anybody when they've passed over, and if you experienced anything yourself when you were with them. So I just wanted to talk about that and share that with you. So if you want to learn Wicca and witchcraft, if you want to be able to get more into learning how to be in that space so that you can be more aware of these things when they happen, be in that place where you can get into the right brainwaves to receive the information out there, then do take a look at the Mystery Witch School 101 Academy. We do a lot of work with energy work, meditation, getting you more aware of what is around you, getting you into the point where you can expand your consciousness so that you can become more aware of your true self, as well as the universe around you, that we are very much in what's like a simulation, and that we have a lot more of an ability to create here on planet Earth than we've been told. And witchcraft is all about understanding our ability to create and explore and have an adventure here on planet Earth. So if you want to know how to do that, take a look at the Mystery Witch School 101 Academy, link in the description field below this video. If you like the video, hit the like button, share it with your friends, don't forget to subscribe. I am Sandra from mysterywitchschool.com. Blessed be.